Beyond the Gates on September 29th, 2025 promises a breathless episode. Joey spirals into danger when Marcel suddenly wants out. Bill is pulled deeper by his guilt, and Vanessa desperately searches for a way to escape the arms of the man who shattered her family. Nicole stumbles onto a shocking truth and faces the choice of whether to expose every secret. On Doug's funeral night, every scheme, lie, and obsession finally explodes into an uncompromising showdown. Who will survive, and who will collapse under the weight of the truth? Joey walks in the dark as if every breath is imprisoned in the heavy cage of his own chest. Fear is no longer a fleeting sensation. It has taken on form, clinging, persistent, pressing down on every thought and gesture. Doug's death, once thought buried beneath a thick layer of lies, rises again, dredging up obsessions and threatening to drown him. Joey knows nothing stays silent forever. A blood-soaked secret needs only the smallest crack to shatter the solid wall he built. And that crack is Marcel. Marcel was once a companion, a silent shadow behind every plot. But now, his betrayal doesn't come from snitching. It comes from the decision to walk away. A simple announcement, to leave and live a quiet life on a Caribbean shore, cuts deep into Joey's mind like a knife. If Marcel disappears, who will share the guilt? Who will help him hide the darkness? The answer is clear: no one. All the weight will crush Joey. He pleads, but Marcel answers with a cold stare. He threatens, but Marcel only sneers, as if Joey's trembling exposes nothing but weakness. Marcel has finished his part. He has nothing left to lose, while Joey is trapped in a vortex with no exit. The warning Marcel leaves behind twists like a blade. Vanessa, the woman Joey trusts and leans on, can turn her back, too. A woman who once betrayed her husband has nothing stopping her from betraying her lover. That truth, however bitter, shakes Joey. His whole world is an illusion built of overlapping betrayals, a fragile faith always ready to collapse. In a moment of despair, Joey draws a gun and points it straight at Marcel. But the trembling barrel doesn't inspire fear. It only exposes his panic. Marcel even mocks him, calling Joey an accomplice rotted to the core, just like himself. Two men who once stood on the same side now mirror each other like two shards of a broken glass. Both know that crime binds them and no one truly escapes. The only question is, who falls first? As his relationship with Marcel fractures, Joey turns to Bill, the man haunted by Doug's death. Bill once slipped, revealing crucial information that helped turn the accident into reality. Joey sniffs out that weakness like a predator catching the scent of blood. He turns Bill's guilt into shackles and his remorse into a tool of control. Joey forces Bill to take his side as Doug's son's lawsuit looms. It's the only way Joey won't be alone. But that calculation is nothing but fuel tossed onto a smoldering fire. Bill is no longer naive, no one's puppet to be yanked on demand. Beneath that quiet exterior rages a storm. He knows he's not legally guilty. He didn't cause the crash, he's not a killer. He's merely the one who warned, the careless man who let something slip. But that doesn't mean he deserves to be dragged into the abyss with Joey. So when Joey wields threats instead of empathy, Bill's resentment flares white-hot. Joey doesn't realize how every spiteful word and contemptuous glance shoves Bill closer to a dangerous edge. A silent conflict blooms inside Bill. He hates himself for contributing to Doug's death. Yet he cannot accept being treated like a chess piece. With his cruelty and selfishness, Joey has turned Bill into a reluctant accomplice. If that anger erupts, it could transform Bill from victim into counterattacker. And in this tangled game, Joey may no longer be the only one moving the pieces. Marcel's shadow still lurks. Joey thinks their parting means Marcel has left the game. But in truth, it's the opposite. A man who knows every twist of the plot and has seen all the blood and lies does not vanish so easily. Marcel understands Joey better than anyone, and that very understanding makes him a constant threat. Bill and Marcel, two very different men, are being backed into the same corner by Joey. They share a common enemy and a common obsession, and that opens the door to an alliance. If Marcel and Bill join forces, Joey becomes a true ticking bomb. He won't just face exposure. He'll face revenge from those who once walked the darkness beside him. Joey's carefully stacked life, built on a shaky foundation, could collapse in an instant. And when it does, what he's done won't just destroy Doug. It will drag Joey himself into the abyss. This is no longer a question of if, but when. Three men bound by the same crime and the same ghost of the past, yet each chooses a different path. Joey clings to power through threats. Bill battles the thin line between remorse and rebellion. Marcel chooses to leave but never truly disappears. Within this triangle of conflict, any decision can be the spark that ignites an explosion no one can stop. Vanesse sinks deeper into a role she no longer realizes she's embodying. The pain of losing her husband is real, but behind the tears lies a complex stratum of emotion only she understands. To the community, Vanesse appears the quintessential widow. Swollen eyes, trembling hands clutching a mourning veil, each step a testament to her loss. Nicole believes in that image, even pities the woman left in a cold world without support. But that faith fractures the moment Nicole witnesses Vanesse melt into Joey's arms. A furtive embrace, an intimacy that crosses the boundaries of grief. The sight stuns Nicole, as if the veil covering the truth were ripped apart, revealing a secret she never wanted to believe. The scattered fragments in Nicole's mind begin to fit. Doug's death wasn't just an accident. Joey's hand was in it, and Vanesse may have dipped hers, too. Vanesse understands the tightening noose. She tries to keep her distance, reminding herself that every intimate gesture with Joey could become a trap leading to ruin. But that very distance inflames a dangerous hunger in Joey. He is obsessed with keeping Vanesse by his side, seeing her presence as the only thread keeping him from the void. The more she refuses him, the more reckless he becomes. Joey no longer cares about the neighbor's stares, the looks from Vanesse's children, or the whispers in the dark. To him, as long as he has Vanesse, any risk is worth it. He forgets that love born from betrayal is fragile. Once the truth surfaces, that love becomes a dagger turning back on his own heart. Meanwhile, Nicole watches day by day. Every midnight call, every unexplained disappearance, every flustered glance from Joey when questioned. All of it becomes evidence in her mind. Nicole is no longer a woman who takes appearances at face value. She becomes a silent detective, ready to connect every fragment into a complete picture. And when that picture is finished, it won't just shatter the image of a grieving widow. It will expose Joey as a murderer in the open as Marcel prepares to withdraw. He grows more cautious than ever. He knows Joey is an animal cornered. A man losing control will do anything, beg, betray, even kill, to protect his secret. Marcel builds an invisible shield and prepares every escape route so that, if Joey does something desperate, he can strike back with twice the brutality. Deep down, Marcel doesn't fear death. He simply refuses to be turned into someone else's pawn. He wants to leave on his own terms, not as a victim. Doug's funeral draws near, and the whole community sinks into gloom. The scent of funeral flowers mixed with damp autumn rain makes the air even heavier. Vanesse moves through sympathetic gazes, red-rimmed eyes painting the perfect portrait of a mourning widow. Somewhere nearby, Nicole stands still, her gaze cool and probing, as if she can already see through the mask. Joey, afraid to enter the center of it all, lingers at the edges, his eyes never leaving Vanesse. His heart is a tangle of desire, fear, and calculation, wondering who else might uncover what he is trying to bury. Bill drowns in remorse, aware of his small part in the tragedy. Every prayer at the service makes him ache more. Marcel, apart from everyone, watches with an icy stare. He knows today is not only Doug's farewell, it is the prelude to a final confrontation. The fuse is lit the night before the funeral. Joey seeks out Marcel in a rage. Pleading turns to shouting. Despair becomes threat. Again, Joey pulls a gun, the black barrel aims straight at Marcel. But Marcel doesn't flinch. He stands, cold and defiant. There is no fear in his eyes. Only contempt and an invisible power Joey cannot touch. The tension tightens to the breaking point, a wire stretched to snapping. Joey quivers and Marcel stays calm, their contrast carving deeper into the weakness of the man holding the gun. When the funeral begins, the pent-up conflicts find their explosion. Amid prayers and tears, truths, suspicions, and hatreds weave together, pushing everyone to the brink. The clash is no longer just between Joey and Marcel. It becomes a collective tragedy, where every glance and whisper can be the killing stroke, turning Doug's farewell into a day of blood and unmasked guilt. Joey storms into Vanesse's house like a desperate man, wild-eyed, breath ragged. The quiet room becomes the flashpoint for every stifled emotion. He no longer distinguishes between pleading, threats, or accusations. Everything pours out in a frenzy, words laced with both pain and venom. Joey cannot accept losing Vanesse, cannot allow the secret of Doug's death to be revealed. But he doesn't realize that at that very moment, Nicole appears. She stands there, eyes wide, witnessing the entire scene. For Nicole, the suspicions now have enough pieces. The truth is out in the open, undeniable. The shouting spills outside and draws Bill to the scene. He rushes in to find chaos. Joey raging, Vanesse shaking, Nicole stunned. Bill is no longer silent. He brings with him pent-up anger, guilt over the past, and a resolve not to let Joey control everything. The three of them encircle Joey, their eyes forcing him to face the truth he has dodged for so long. Desperation turns to madness. Joey draws the gun again, the glossy black barrel trembling in his hand. But this time, Marcel steps out of the dark. Like a ghost that never left, he returns at the tightest moment. Joey freezes. He never imagined the man he wanted to erase would still be watching, waiting for this exact second. Marcel's presence turns the room into an arena. Every glance a blade, each person with a reason to push Joey into the pit. Bill, once under Joey's thumb, chooses betrayal. He refuses to carry another man's burden, refuses to let guilt make him a tool. In that instant, Bill takes Vanesse and Nicole's side against Joey. That betrayal is the final blow, snapping the last, fragile thread Joey clung to. Vanesse is shaken to her core. In just a few days, she has lost two men who defined her life. Doug is dead, and Joey, now that the truth is exposed, is dead to her heart. Joey stands in the vortex, lost amid warped love, lies, and fear. The trembling gun is no longer a weapon but a symbol of impotence. In the whirlwind of truth, he seems unable to utter last words before everything ends. In that moment, without a single shout or a gunshot, the secrets shatter. Vanesse screams in silence, yet her resolve is clear. She will protect her children and sever Joey for good. Love that once warmed has burned to ash, leaving scars that will never heal. Nicole, with ice-sharp eyes, becomes the living witness to the entire tragedy, while Bill, in anger and remorse, finds release by ending his role as someone's pawn. Under everyone's condemning gaze, Joey falls into despair. He was once the puppeteer, convinced he could control others' fates. Now all he has are empty, trembling hands awaiting judgment. Doug's death, once dressed up as an accident, becomes a bomb that destroys every relationship, turning love into obsession, loyalty into betrayal, and secrecy into the blade that ends it all. On the night cloaking the funeral's aftermath, Vanesse's mansion is no longer a refuge. It becomes a battlefield of truth. Events crash in waves, ripping away every disguise that's long covered the rot beneath. Joey, once the string puller, is cornered by a cascade of betrayals. Marcel returns like an unyielding specter, Bill chooses defiance over obedience. Nicole pieces together the puzzle and lays bare the secret, and Vanessa is forced to cut the dangerous tie to protect her children. In the moment when Joey's gun trembles, no one knows whether a shot will ring out or the truth will simply detonate under its own weight. Joey seems to collapse in the center of the room, eyes dulled, looking around, pleading and despairing, and then everything falls into chaos. No one knows what happened in that final second. Only the ragged breathing, choked sobs, and tear-soaked eyes laced with terror to be why the next day. The house still smells of gunpowder, but Joey is gone. Police find no body, only signs of a violent struggle. For Vanessa, is this deliverance or the beginning of a new nightmare? Nicole is certain Joey is dead, that the last secret died with him, yet somewhere deep inside she feels an unsettling hollow. After his fury and rebellion, Bill cannot escape the question. Was Joey's disappearance an accident, someone's handiwork, or the final act of a man too cunning to accept punishment? Marcel vanishes right after the chaos, leaving behind rumors that he took evidence strong enough to annihilate everyone if silence is no longer kept. Time passes, but the truth never sleeps. In that gilded community, the whispers spread. Is Joey dead or alive? If alive, where is he, and will he return for revenge or to expose everything? Vanessa tries to hold her family together, but the suspicious eyes of her children and neighbors deny her peace. Nicole becomes a shadow, haunted by that night, by the suspicion that what she saw was not the whole truth. Bill is tormented daily, fearing that his betrayal will summon a retribution none of them can escape. When winter settles over Fairmont Crest, an unsigned letter appears in Vanessa's mailbox. The scrawled line is clear. The truth isn't finished. I'm still here. No one knows if it's Joey's hand, Marcel's, or someone else's from the dark. Only one thing is certain. Doug's death, once disguised as an accident, has become an inextinguishable flame, promising to light still more tragedies. And in that suffocating anticipation, each person understands that the vortex of betrayal, love, and hatred hasn't ended at all. It's only beginning a new chapter, darker and more mysterious than before.